Time now for the STOHD.com Diamond in the Rough, and its captain's pitcher Cody Allen. STOHD.com's Tony Lastoria says the right-handed pitcher, who was the Indians' 23rd pick in this year's draft, was also drafted by the Indians in the 16th round of the 2010 draft. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery last year, so the Indians opted not to sign him, but were high on him, so they drafted him this year. He throws from a three-quarter arm slot with a fastball that sits between 89 and 91. Along with the slider, curveball, and change. He's raw, but definitely an upside guy that has potential as a reliever in the upper levels of the system and potentially the big leagues.
Yeah, Cody did a very nice job with the Scrappers earlier this year. Gets the call up to Lake County. Very high upside. You know, he's not an overpowering fastball, but he looks a little bit like Josh Tomlin.
Well, read more about Indians prospects every week on Minor Happenings on STOHD.com and in Tony's book listing the 100 top Tribe prospects. Welcome back to Indians Minor League Magazine. Jason Stanford, Al Pulowski, and now joined on the phone lines by Kinston Director of Broadcasting, Chris Haymeyer. Chris, thanks for taking some time out here this week, and good to talk to you live and in person for once.
Yeah, I know. It's a little bit different, but as we say, Kinston is a long way from Cleveland, and after this last road trip, we're going to have the final homestand of the Kinston Indians at historic Ranger Stadium, so it's going to be a pretty big and emotional end of the month for us.
Yeah, tell me about that move now. The K-Tribers are going to Zebulon. That's about, 45 minutes to an hour away, and they're going to become a team with a totally different name.
Yeah, they're going to be the Carolina Mudcats next year. They're in a pretty modern stadium built just about 15 years ago. They're going to stay in the Carolina League, so they'll be playing still the Winston-Salems, the Myrtle Beach. They're going to be a little bit closer to a bigger city in Raleigh, but it's definitely going to be a big change from where they're at now.
Chris, you've been around now Granger Stadium for a long time. I played down there in 2000. Just everything about that place is just very historic. They did a little bit of upkeep. What are they trying to do now that the team's moving?
Well, they have been trying since the day the announcement was made back in December to get another affiliated team in there. Obviously, with the 25-year relationship with the Cleveland Indians, it's kind of sad that is going the way that it is. But it wasn't Cleveland's doing. It was the local owner selling and trying to consolidate things. But he has said for day one that he's trying to get another affiliated baseball team in there. He says he won't be able to make any sort of decision or announcement really till the end of the year. So people around Kinston are crossing their fingers that hopefully in the next few weeks they'll get some good answers.
And of course, we wish the best for them. Great baseball group down there in Kinston and some great fan support as well. Chris, let's talk about some of the players this year, specifically a couple of pitchers that have done very well for Kinston. Giovanni Soto came over in the Johnny Peralta deal last year, has spent most of this season with you and the K-Tribers. And what can you tell us about this left-hander that has really shown some nice potential?
I tell you what, I know Peralta is doing well for Detroit, but this is a young pitcher who, at the beginning of the year, through 11 starts, he was 4-4 with a 3.02 ERA. He turned 20 in the beginning of this season, and guys, I tell you what, quite frankly, at the beginning of the year, and granted, first-round draft pick Drew Pomeranz was sent to us to work on his changeup. He, through a couple months of the season, looked better than Drew. He doesn't have the fastball that Pomeranz does, but his secondary stuff is very effective. And for a 19-year-old who just turned 20 during this season, he knows how to pitch. He has that kind of approach of maybe a guy that spent 3-4 years in college, and that's what really jumps off the page at you. For him to be only 20 and to be so advanced in his approach, that's what had him off to such a good start. Unfortunately, injured a little bit and now sort of rehabbing down in rookie ball. But I tell you what, this is a pitcher to watch because he definitely has the stuff and the approach to make it.
Chris, this year, the second half, the team has done very nice. They're back in first place. But it's been the pitching the whole season that's done a very good job, especially at the closer. Preston Gilmet has done a remarkable job. Seems like every year that he just is asked to do something, he does it this year again in Kinston. What about him that makes him so special?
Well, he's terribly effective for a closer. He's blown one save this year. He has 33 total, a 1.66 ERA. Guys, his batting average against is 198. His whip is under 1 at 0.88, and that's what's been so fun about watching him pitch. When he comes out, he puts him down 1-2-3. He doesn't put any got body on base. He's got 56 Ks compared to 9 walks this year. He was a midseason All-Star. And, guys, he's a big reason why the K-Tribe is in first place right now. Kinston is 28-11 in one-run games this year, and a majority of that is because this is a team that doesn't have a lot of offense right now, but they take 1-2-run leads into the late innings, and Preston Gilmet is one of those guys that close the door. There's something about the University of Arizona, guys. He's another University of Arizona product, and the reason why he hasn't been called up to Double-A is because his former teammate, Corey Burns, is doing the same thing in the closer role in Akron.
Yeah, boy, that's great to see. We got a lot of bullpen prospects from out there in the Pac-10 in Arizona. Hey, Chris, you spoke about the offense, and there's nobody that's really jumped off the page at you this year at your level. But if you had a look at one or two guys, who would you say are the most promising guys offensively playing for Kinston this year?
I tell you, there's a couple of heavy hitters from the middle of the lineup. Adam Abraham is a third baseman. He's hitting .252 right now, but he's led this team in home runs and RBIs, 13 and 62 respectively, for the majority of the year. He's finally settled. He was a guy that they tried to turn into a catcher a couple of years ago, but he's been playing third base now. His improvement at third base defensively has been remarkable, and he's turned into a guy that walks a lot. So far this season, he has 67 walks. It's one of the best walk totals in the league. He gets on base. He has power, and he's starting to be comfortable. Jeremy Tice is a DH, another high-round draft pick from a couple of years ago from the College of Charleston. He's a guy that has been off and on the injured list for the majority of the first part of the season, but through 66 games, he's got 10 home runs and 38 RBIs, hitting .269. He's a guy that if he would have been healthy all year, he'd be one of the league leaders in a lot of the power total. So those are two big boppers, two guys from the middle of the lineup to really watch.
Hey, Chris, great stuff here today, and we understand you're moving on to Campbell College and going to take the job there as the voice of that school, and I guess that means that you're not going to be with us anymore, but we really appreciate all your contributions over the years here for Indians Minor League Magazine. Best of luck to you, and we hope to work with you again soon.
Well, definitely. Thanks a lot, guys. As you know, this has been a long relationship, Cleveland and the K-Tribe, since 1987, and it's been a good one. We've had a lot of great players, coaches, and staff come through, and we're really going to miss the Indians in eastern North Carolina.
All right, Chris. Hey, thanks a lot. Good luck, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris Haymeyer joining us with Indians Minor League Magazine. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at one of the Indians' top pitching prospects right now at AAA. You may see him sooner than you think. Zach McAllister. Stay tuned.